How you doing? It's Fred Ward back in on Count Time Podcast with the longest standing mayor of Cleveland's history, Mr. Frank Jackson. My man, I call him Mr. M. Don't y'all try to do that though. But so previously we was talking about the 3% rule,
right? How
we can actually galvanize enough, physical voting power to be able to actually change certain, not only legislation, but the hearts and minds of people. You know, these stories that we lifting up in these panel discussions is actually letting people have a different perspective on like what it is to be directly impacted. A lot of people just didn't know, like, man, I'm directly impacted too. So I think that's very significant. But Mayor, I want to talk to you about this research that happened last year. It was an amazing group that did some research on cynical voters.
Right.
And they did this across the country, but my organization, Building Freedom Ohio, was one of the organizations that they interviewed our base. You know, we in like 5 different cities in Ohio. And they interviewed my base, and what they found out was striking. The research found that my base of directly impacted individuals are highly cynical,
right,
but they still vote. And
that's your particular base.
My base. And
right.
They said what stood out more than anything was that even though they highly cynical and they don't believe in Democrats or Republicans, right, based on the laws and policies that they done passed to harm our particular demographic over the years, they still voted because they said a lot of it was because of my narrative around, you know, why you have to vote as a strategy.
Well, they did it based on your leadership and the confidence, your credibility, your confidence. Now, that's compared to other cynical voters who are not part of your group, who didn't even vote at all.
90 million people
right.
in the United States of America did not vote the last election that was eligible.
Right.
90 million.
And you're talking specifically about here ex-felons.
Yeah.
And
not 90 million overall. But in those numbers, we know there's some felony impact.
Right. And so you're saying, in effect, that the ex-felons who were part of your group and they wound up voting, whereas ex-felons who were part of, who were not part of your group, what percentage they didn't vote at all?
Man, I don't know how this happening, but I'm still meeting people in Ohio that don't even know they can vote. You know, and I'm like, man, you can vote in Ohio. So I'm like, man, I don't know, we got to start doing billboards or something. But even in that, what I found, and this is just being a very transparent moment for me, there was a tension inside of me because it was never identified or justified that I have every right to be cynical, right? So I lived over the last few years with a tension. I know I got to vote. I know I got to cast my vote, but
you a cynical voter too.
I'm the most cynical.
Right. You know that is really when people look at things, that's why people shouldn't judge what they're looking at all the time, because what people are looking at, let's say cynical voters, is an indication of something. Is really like a symptom of something. Yeah. And so the question is, what is that illness that this is a symptom of? Yeah. And that illness is more related to a lack of self-determination, freedom, or a lack of confidence in a system that is not producing anything for you or whoever you care about. And so if you look at it that way, then you're not trying to just convince the cynical voters that they should vote. You saying that this is the reason why you should vote in order to address these things that has caused you to be so cynical. So the question is, what are those things?
So I'm glad you said that, because in that research, what they said was that Building Freedom Ohio created space and place.
Right.
We created a political space for people to come as you are, learn together, and actually be able to look at the system, right, in a non-judgmental way, right? Because many people was like, I know Obama was in, but on the ground,
Right.
at the very ground level of like day-to-day basic needs, a lot of folks said that their life didn't change one way or another.
And see, and that's based on the concept and the belief that because a black man became president, that all of a sudden their life was going to be different. It's not.
But they also didn't know, like, yeah, you might have voted for the president, but the next election when you got to vote for Congress and, the U.S. Senate, you ain't vote.
And not only that, you have a system in which this president operates in.
That's right.
And that system has a life of its own.
Come on.
I call it the beast.
Come on.
And so this beast, it is ruthless.
Yeah.
And its sole purpose is to maintain
Come on.
access, power, and wealth. To access, maintain, grow power and wealth.
Wow.
And it will do it in the most ruthless ways.
Yeah.
And it will subjugate people. It will subjugate, exploit situations. It will do anything it can to preserve itself and its ability to have power and wealth.
Yeah,
now, one man ain't gonna change that.
Yeah, come on.
One man ain't gonna change that. So President Obama, even if he came there with the right intent, and we have to give him that benefit of the doubt,
no doubt,
his ability to make those changes were not going to happen. So the question becomes, how do you create an environment for someone who is in a position, who is willing to make a change but can't because the beast won't allow it? How do you create that environment where the beast will allow something to happen? And that it goes to this, not only your 3%, but it goes to the cynical voters. Because people have to know that if I take this action, it's going to have some consequence to it, some result associated with it.
Now I'm gonna tell you, you know who said a quote that go right with what you said?
Who's that?
Carter G. Woodson.
What's he say?
He said that a person will never fight if a person don't think that the future hold greater possibilities than the present. They'll never have enough energy to fight for it.
And not only that, they will if they give up like that, they will accept whatever the system has put on them.
Wow.
They will accept that. And if that acceptance is no matter what I do, ain't nothing gonna change. And which is accurate in some degree, but is completely inaccurate in another degree. It comes down to, again, how do you take this 3% and
the cynical voters
and the cynical voters, the 3% plus the people associated and impacted by that 3%, and the cynical voters, and how do you organize it in such a way that gives them an understanding that if I take this action, then this is what I should expect in return. Now, if you're looking for immediate, it may not work. Because we people, not just black people, but people in general, look at cause and effect in terms of their lifetime. So I want
Am I gonna see it in my lifetime?
You're right. But the real power and what the beast relies on, and has relied on for centuries, is the fact that this cause and effect goes generational. So what you do today will put into motion some things that may not mature until another generation or two. The question is, if I'm in the immediacy of the moment and I don't understand that, I'm looking for immediate gratification, then I'm not sacrificing anything because I don't see any benefit in it for me personally.
Them out there. They out there too.
Yeah.
I got guys that I be telling about stuff. They be like, man, G, man, I love what you're doing. We had a conversation with some youngsters the other day, right, on the podcast. It was tough. The conversation around one foot in, one foot out.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of them be like, man, Fred, I love what you're doing, but right now, man.
You mean one in the system, one on the street.
That's right. And, you know, but what was lifted, even in that, was that they didn't necessarily want to have one foot in, one foot out. And for myself, I'm like, I started off at risk 100% through trauma and all the things that life brought my way. But my whole goal was to continue to make decisions that minimize my exposure to being at risk. So I went from 100% at risk, meaning today might be my last day, to 90 to 70 to 60. Right now, I'm still got maybe 15% because, you know, you just can't control the actions of other people. But I live my life in a way and I make decisions in a way where, you know, my risk factor is very minimal.
And the benefit of your actions are greater.
Yeah. So man, we could talk all day. So to the listening audience, right? We talked about the 3% rule. We talked about how to galvanize. We talked about the cynical voter. We know y'all out there, right? We're trying to create this new narrative that can actually have people create collective power, right? And relational power.
Right.
And we think one of the ways to do it, at least was brought out in their the cynical voter research, is that we have to create a new form of community, a new space for people to be able to operate and learn from each other and actually act, not just feel good and get emotional with each other. No. We call it love and rigor. We gonna love on you, but we also know that this love comes with action to be able to change the circumstances, right? And the hearts and minds of people. Because there's a lot of people that just got misinformation, that done got a council seat, done got a U.S. Senate seat or a state rep seat, and disillusioned about the constituency that they actually supposed to be representing.
As opposed to the constituency serving them.
Ain't no mystery.
See, the illusion is what we constantly live in, is not the reality.
How do we get to the reality?
Well, the reality.
We wrapping up, but I want if you could just, because you got so much history, so much knowledge. If you could tell, we talking to Ohio as a whole. What are some of the things that we can do now?
You know what? Reality is common sense.
Okay. Common sense ain't common.
But is what is missing, but is what is needed. So the reality is based on the experience.
Okay.
Because if you live in the illusion as to what people tell you it should be, and you making decisions in the way it should be, or if you live in the illusion of how someone else is defining us and saying that our behavior is based on this illusion that they give us, well, then we're always going to be conflicted and confused, and in that way, we're inactive. We're not doing anything because there's no clear path of our accomplishment. Everything that we do then, it becomes more self-destructive than constructive. So the reality we have to accept the reality no matter how painful it is.
Yeah, look at it in his face.
You got to look at it, and you have to deal with it. Because if you grapple with it, it may not turn out like you want it to turn out, but it'd be far better off than if you just left it on its own accord, and if you live or let the illusion define it for you. So what we have to do is we have to understand that we live in the bowels of the beast. And the beast has its structure. It is not to our benefit. I don't care however we try to rationalize it, is not to our benefit. So the reality is, how can we operate within that illusion that the beast has created to our benefit? So you have to have some consciousness about what it is. So that's why being very specific and focused on what is the purpose. So as you talk to people and you did the 3%, you get the people who
cynical
don't,
voters.
cynical voters. They have to have a clear understanding as to what does this mean.
Yeah. Educate.
Right.
And activate.
Activate. Do. And don't expect immediate return.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you're looking for immediate returns, you will be at radar.
Yeah.
And
okay, they're going to get that. The pyramid is a wonder of the world. But I guarantee you the people that helped build it, a lot of them didn't see it get to its finish line.
Yeah.
So educate and activate.
All the time.
We're going to get back at you. Y'all got a little bitty glimpse of the longest standing mayor of Cleveland history. He got more to give. We're going to get him back on the show. Fred Ward checking out on Count Time now.